Okay, so we should be on page 111. Okay. Miss VanderWal is back with us today, so she's going to be going over this scene with you. Do you need me to go over parts again, or does everybody kind of know? Go over the parts?
Am I Griffith or Peter? I think I'm Samson.
Let me just.
Gregory.
All right.
Oh, Gregory, that's
All right. Lady Montague is Jonathan. Friar John is Taylor. Abigail is Juliet. Kira is Lady Capulet. Allie is Rosaline. Salem is Capulet. Catherine is the nurse. Claire is Mercutio. Robbie is Paris. Xavier is the chorus. Owen is Samson. Acaden is the apothecary. Nick is Benvolio. Sebastian is Tybalt. Samantha is Balthazar. Lily is Friar Lawrence. Hannah is the prince. Caleb is Montague. Jack is Romeo. Angelina is Abraham/Abram. Kennedy is Peter, and John Colton is Gregory. Okay? And then I've got the list, I keep the list pulled up. So if like for some reason you forget and we get there, I'll be like, hey, whatever your name is, this is your part. Okay? Are we cool? Alright, everybody should be on page 111. Yeah, I have mine. Yeah. Okay, is everybody good? Yes? Okay.
Alright, hey y'all, how are we? Good? Are we excited to read for today? Yeah. There's some mixed responses. Okay, so what's happened so far? So everybody goes to the party, right? And so what's Romeo doing at this party? He's like wearing a mask with his friends, right? And so why is he going to this party?
to forget about.
Yeah, find a girl, see the other fish in the sea, right? So who does he end up seeing? Juliet. And then what happens? Yeah. So they meet each other and then they kiss. Like right off the bat. How weird. And so then what? And then he comes to her house, right? So then what happens when he gets to her house? Then they talk. Okay, so also I want to mention, I've seen a stage production of this, Romeo and Juliet. And like the way that it actually is, like the way that they talk when they're at Juliet's house is very weird. Because also if you read closely in the scene, Romeo is talking and she's like, who is talking right now? Because it's dark. So they can't like see who's talking. So they're talking to each other and then eventually Juliet hears Romeo's voice and she's like, oh, it's this guy I met like 20 minutes ago. And so then somehow they're in love. And Juliet, like in the stage production, Juliet is like up kind of in like a tower. And then Romeo is like below her like this. And they never really like face each other because this is happening at night. And so they're just talking, they're saying all these sweet things. He's calling her a baby hawk. Like, what? So he's like, my baby hawk, you know? And she's like, yeah. Like, Juliet's like all about it, okay? And so he's like, they're talking like for the audience. And he's like, my baby hawk. And so the setup is weird. So I know, it's kind of funny. So whenever we're thinking about this, think about this is being performed on a stage, and it's kind of funny. They're talking towards the audience. He's like, my baby hawk? And she's like, yeah, because she can't see because it's dark. So she's like, yeah, I like, love you too. And then she's got to go to bed because the nurse is calling with her. Okay. So then what happens? She tells Romeo to come and call for her around like 9 o'clock the next morning. And so anyway, so that's kind of where we left off. So we're on Act 2, Scene 3. Everybody kind of got a good refresher of what's going on? All right. So we're gonna get started. I'm gonna read scene 3 with y'all. So who's playing Friar Lawrence? Okay. It's your debut. All right, are we ready, everybody? Everybody, let's get zoned in. Friar Lawrence enters by himself carrying a basket.
The smiling morning is replacing the frowning night. Darkness is stumbling out of the sun's path like a drunk man. Now before the sun comes up and burns away the dew, I have to fill this basket of mine with poisonous weeds and medicinal flowers. The earth is nature's mother and also nature's tomb. Plants are born out of the earth and they are buried in the earth when they die. From the earth's womb, many different sorts of plants and animals come forth. And the earth provides her children with many excellent forms of nutrition. Everything nature creates has some special property, and each one is different. Birds, plants, and stones possess great power. There's nothing on earth that is so evil that it does not provide the earth with special qualities. And there is nothing that does not turn bad if it puts the wrong use and abuse. Virtue turns to vice if it's misused. Vice sometimes becomes virtue through the right activity.
Okay, so let's stop right there for a second. What is he talking about? Anybody want to take a stab at what he's saying? Does anybody know? No? Okay, so Friar Lawrence, he's coming out with this basket, and it says he has poisonous weeds and medicinal flowers. So y'all have heard of like herbal teas and stuff, like traditional medicine. So he's saying he has like basically a basket of like different flowers that would have been used as like medicine at that time. That's basically what he's carrying around. Okay, so if we read a little bit down, it says, virtue turns to vice if it's misused. Does anybody know what a vice is? Yes?
Kind of like a guilty pleasure.
Yeah. So it's something that is not necessarily like a good habit. So some people would say like vice would be like lying maybe, or it's just something that wouldn't be, society would view as something that's not good. So this is saying virtue turns to vice if it's misused. So he's essentially carrying this basket of things that are supposed to be like healing, like plants and stuff, which would be something that's good. So what he's saying in this paragraph is virtue turns to vice if it's misused. Too much of a good thing can be bad, is what he's saying. Does that make sense? All right, so that's kind of what he's getting at. So we can kind of like see some foreshadowing maybe of like Romeo and Juliet. They're really in love right off the bat, but maybe too much of that could be a bad thing. So that's kind of what he's foreshadowing. All right, so we'll keep going. Great job reading. That was excellent. All right, so Romeo enters.
Inside the little round of this sweet cloud, there is both poison and powerful medicine. If you smell it, you feel good all over your body. But if you taste it, you die. There are two opposite elements in it, in men as well as in earth, good and evil. When evil is dominant, death soon kills the body like cancer. God bless you. Who greets me so early in the morning? Young man, something's wrong if you're getting out of bed this early. Every old man has worries, and worried men never get any sleep. But young men shouldn't have a care in the world. They should get to bed early and get plenty of sleep. Therefore, the fact that you were awake this early tells me you've been upset with some anxiety. If that's not the case, then this must be the answer. You, Romeo, have not been to bed. May God forgive you if you've sinned. Were you with Rosalind?
With Rosalind, Father, forgot that girl and all this happened.
That's good, my boy. But where have you been?
I'll tell you before you have to ask me. I've been feasting with my room. Suddenly someone really good and I was moved with love from you. You have the sacred power to cure both of us. I carry my patient because my hearts will be different.
Speak plainly, make your meaning clear, my son. A gentle confession can only receive a jumbled absolution.
I love Rich Catholics. I love her and she loves me. We're bound to each other and every possible except we need you married. I'll tell you more later about when and where we met, how we fell in love, and how we exchanged vows. But now I'm ready for two so we can get married.
Oh, let's see, Princess, this is a drastic change. Have you given up so quickly on Rosaline, whom you love so much? Then young men love with their eyes, not with their hearts. Jesus and Mary, how many tears did you cry for Rosaline? How many salty teardrops did you waste salting a love you never tasted? The sun hasn't yet melted away from your father's eyes. The groans we used to make are still ringing in my old ears. There's still a stain on your cheek from an old tear that hasn't been washed off yet. If you were ever yourself, and the sadness was yours, you and your sadness were all for Roseanne. And now you've changed, then repeat this after us. You can't expect women to be faithful when men are so unreliable.
She scolded me often for loving her.
I scolded you for obsessing about her, not for loving her as you.
She told me to marry me.
I didn't tell you to get rid of one love and replace her with another.
Please, I beg you, don't scold me. The girl I love now is with me. It's better so we
Oh, she knew very well that you were acting like you were in love without really knowing what love means. But come on, inconsistent young man, come with me. I'll help you with your secret wedding. This marriage may be lucky enough to turn the hatred between your families into pure love.
Let's do all of you out there.
Go wisely and slowly. Those who rush stumble and fall.
They exit. Okay, so when Romeo appears and he sees Friar Lawrence, what does Friar Lawrence think what does he say?
Where have you been?
Yeah. He's like, where have you been? And he basically says, have you been up all night? And so he's assuming that Romeo has been up all night with Rosaline. So he's assuming, like many other characters, that Romeo hung out with Rosaline all night. Okay? But he's like, no, I got a new girl that I like. So Friar Lawrence is basically saying, how did you get over Rosaline so quickly? You're jumping from girl to girl. You were crying over Rosaline, and now you're over her, and you like someone else who didn't even know her. So Friar Lawrence is kind of like checking Romeo, and he's like, come on. But then all of a sudden he just agrees to help him with this wedding. So it's kind of weird how he jumps from kind of checking him, saying, you know, make sure you know what love really is, to I'll help you with your secret wedding. So it kind of gives us some insight into their relationship. Maybe they're closer than we see here. Maybe they've known each other a long time. But Friar Lawrence is going to help Romeo out and marry Romeo and Juliet in secret. Okay, so that's what's happened so far. Does anybody have any questions? No? Okay, cool. So we're going to continue with Act 2, Scene 4.
Where is the devil from Romeo come home last night?
As you find out, as it says,
That fair skinned, hearted, let's see, Rosaline is going to